Welcome to the 10th Year Seniors podcast. This is our Sweet 16 podcast. We're going to talk about the first two rounds of the NCAA tournament. First thing we're going to talk about is day one. That might have been the most exciting day in any given day in NCAA history. I think, Nal, earlier you said it was like 14 games decided by
it was exactly what
they want.
Yeah, it's from a commercial standpoint, we're not going to say, I'm sure John is going to say it, so I'll just get it out of the way now. From a basketball purist perspective.
Yes.
It was the most entertaining thing you could expect going into not just this tournament, but any tournament at any basketball level. You had 14 games decided by a single possession.
You had brackets getting burned up at the beginning. Like the first game, your bracket was done. Yeah,
when you flipped through the different channels that were covering it, every single game had an exciting finish coming right down to the wire. Like I said, 14 games decided by a single possession. In the entire 2014 tournament, we had 16. So that should tell you the level that teams were coming out playing at from the very opening tip.
Definitely. My bracket was done. So what are you guys' favorite moments from day one of the tournament?
Well, I would have to go with, I mean, it's not my favorite. It's my most surprising moment. UAB beating the Big 12 conference champion, Iowa State.
It was funny.
First, let me apologize to UAB.
I think they deserve it.
Because I kind of said they were going to get smoked by Iowa State, which they didn't.
Explain the backstory, John.
Everybody expected them to get beat from Iowa State.
Okay, I was right for Battle for Atlantis.
I'm just saying you were anti-UAB since November.
But they look terrible at the Battle of Atlantis.
UAB, I'm sorry. You deserve to go to the round of 32. That's about it.
I think we expected more out of Iowa State too. I mean, we remember the big comeback they had against Buddy in Oklahoma in the conference tournament.
Everybody was real high on them because they said Fred Hoiberg has them playing this pro-style offense and they really can shoot it and blah, blah, blah.
Well,
you know what they can't do? You can't win.
They can't beat UAB. They can't.
That pro-style offense with the pros.
That's Conference USA.
I don't know. I didn't watch the game. I don't know what UAB figured out because in the battle, they just looked like a Princeton team that couldn't shoot. I don't know how you could run a Princeton and not be able to shoot. So I don't know. Maybe they.
Congratulations for getting that far. No one thought you would do it.
Well, my favorite day one moment, I think it wasn't just R.J. Hunter hitting the shot. I think my favorite day one moment was his dad's celebration.
Falling to the ground.
Coach.
I don't think that was on purpose. I'm pretty sure that was unintentional.
That's why it was my favorite moment because I think he forgot mid-celebration when the shot went in that he was on the, what do you call it, the knee wheel?
Yeah, the knee wheel thing.
Whatever that is.
That thing went flying.
He forgot for a split second that he was on it and he tried to jump up. And then as he tried to jump up, it went horribly
I think he
wrong.
forgot that he was a coach, that it was his son made that shot, so he quickly became a father.
Yeah, in that moment, and he even said it, like at that point, he said it was the greatest weekend of his life, not just from a coach's perspective because you get your program into the NCAA tournament for the first time ever, but because your son hits the game winner from like half court.
You know what was funny about that too? Because he said it's the first time in 4 years he could tell his son that he was proud of him as a father, because usually it's it's a basketball coach.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Yeah.
So,
this is going back to the UAB Iowa State game. This is a stat.
Of course it is.
UAB went 3 of 18, I think, from 3-pointer.
And won the game.
And they won the game, and only one guy hit.
And won the game.
This one guy hit 3 3-pointers.
It's called destiny sometimes.
Way to go, pro-style offense.
Pro-style offense. No style defense.
Tage, what was your best from day one?
UCLA getting that win. Getting 3 points the old way. Old way.
The oldest way possible.
My favorite wrinkle from that is that Bryce Alford broke his dad's record for 3-pointers hit in the game.
Yes.
It's like, what did he go 9 for 11 that game?
We're gonna get to him later, and
what a dubious 3-point.
That adds to what we're going to talk about later with Bryce Alford. I did not know that.
Yeah, his dad was like, I still give him shit about it because he just got it because he got it on a dubious goaltend. I wouldn't even care though. If that was my dad, I would give him endless smack.
Worst from day one.
The worst?
Yeah, while we were talking about,
I'm gonna say Niall's pick of Coastal Carolina beating Wisconsin.
That was an awesome pick. What are you talking about? You have no Bahamian pride. No Bahamian pride.
Link picked them.
Way to go, Link. Me and Link was in this together. At some point, the 16 is going to be the one. I just tried to get the
Did you
jump
see all
on
the
it this
commercials that they were putting this shit? Where would you be? I know
just-
where I'm going to be, on my sofa watching these games.
year. I just tried to get the jump on it. That's all. My worst from day one is probably Texas.
God dang, I was gonna pick them.
Texas scored 48 points in the game. I remember watching that game at the office thinking, why is this team in the tournament? They scored 48 points against... I mean, Butler's okay, but Butler's not a great team by any stretch of the imagination. And
They
you
just got a
only-
lot of hustle and heart.
Yeah, you didn't manage 50 points in the NCAA tournament. You don't belong there.
Okay, I know I said it was Now's pick, but my real most disappointing moment was UCI having the most awful possession of all time.
That was a terrible final possession.
It's like they were playing so well the entire game, but how do you mess up that bad in the last possession?
At least get a shot up. I mean, you have a chance to pull off the upset. You got to get a shot up.
Just go for a 3. And you have someone who's 7'6". How do you underthrow a 7'6" guy?
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
understand why he
that's
wasn't on the floor
ridiculous.
for that final possession either.
My worst is Ole Miss. Like I'm gonna need. They just didn't put up a fight at all to Xavier.
They've had
Why
that,
do you guys have no Bahamian pride between like the both of you? It's terrible.
yeah, just wait till
They don't have
just
any-
wait till we get to our Sweet 16.
So let me get this straight. Both of your worst from day one that feature teams that have Bahamian players.
No,
on
no,
it.
my worst was
Dude.
you picking.
I mean, have you ever?
That was a good pick.
Have you ever seen Matt Stainbrook?
Yes.
Have you seen?
He looks like an extra from How I Met Your Mother.
And
How
you
I Met
you
Your
seen
Mom.
Dwight Colby, right?
Yes.
How does Matthew Stainbrook give Dwight Colby 20 and 9 and 5 assists? How,
First of all-
how does that?
First of all, it was not all done on Dwight Colby.
It wasn't. A lot of
secondly-
it wasn't done on Dwight Colby because he only
secondly-
played what? I don't have his
He
minutes.
played about 13, 14 minutes.
Come on,
Secondly,
though.
Matt Stainbrook gives everyone buckets, okay?
Like-
His unorthodox, out of shape, white frat boy style
Yeah.
is one of the most unguardable offensive games in NCAA.
He looks like he belongs in like a bear league. Like he would.
and
even
he
be-
would give buckets in that bear league.
Like I don't like. Come on, man. Like I mean, it's just you gotta not get 20 piece by Matt Stainbrook.
He's a good player, though. I mean, he's woefully out of shape, but he's a good player. Give Matt Stainbrook some credit.
And I just need, like I said, I just need Ole Miss to put up a fight and have some pride.
Well,
Look,
I mean,
they came back from 18 down against BYU.
2 days before they
I mean,
did expend
come
a
on now.
tremendous amount of energy in that 18-point comeback in the first
Against
4.
Mormon City.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are like 26, you know.
And then they
Yo, I got what's the word? I got a nomination, but I didn't make it. I got an honorable mention. UNC almost getting beat by Harvard.
Harvard
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
a bad team, though.
yeah.
Harvard isn't a bad team, but I mean UNC shouldn't it shouldn't be that close. Like
yeah, but now they're in the Sweet 16, so who cares about that?
that's true.
true.
But I mean,
totally overlooked because they won the second game.
but like I just remember watching that game. Like these guys are gonna lose
They
to
really
Harvard.
shouldn't.
It's sometimes these games are matchup problems, and that's just what it was.
Harvard is a very well coached, disciplined squad. Though I'll give them that. They have to be disciplined because they really
They
don't have
need
any-
it.
They
The
got like
athletes they have.
They got
are-
like one dude who could hoop, Wesley Saunders. Everybody else is just like set picks and
One
swing
dude
the
who
ball.
on academic scholarships.
Anyway, first 2 rounds of the tournament. What would you guys say are the best conferences? Because I know the Big 12 kind of.
Does
Shut
Kentucky
the
count
bed.
as a conference?
I was just about to say, I feel like the SEC is the undisputed best
SEC.
conference.
No. I'm not saying the
SEC.
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 I'm saying is Kentucky counts as a conference, right?
Non-Kentucky division.
Okay, so the non-Kentucky. I'm going with Pac-12.
Pac-12. It's hard
Why
to
the-
argue. Utah looked pretty good. Arizona. I think Arizona's my pick to make the final against Kentucky. UCLA. What the fuck?
UCLA. I mean,
And
American.
Oregon was actually very good. They
they
gave
beat Oak
Wisconsin a good. They gave Wisconsin a good run. They beat OK State, and
Yeah.
that point guard they have, Young, is probably. I was sad to see him go out of the tournament because he's one of those guys that could carry an entire game and just make it entertaining just on his own.
I was very impressed too with DeLon Wright from Utah. Darrell Wright, his brother.
Darrell's brother.
I mean, I've been watching him play all season, but he got some game. Like he's gonna be an NBA player for sure. Like I mean, you don't usually see a guy go to junior college and then go to university for 2 years and then be an NBA player. But that dude has game. Like,
Late bloomer. That's what he
Yeah.
is.
yeah, Georgetown went down too. Dang, that sucks for them. What about the ACC? ACC done. did pretty well.
Yeah, ACC has another team that lost yet.
Yeah. NC State is my pick to beat Villanova. I feel like I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. Like NC State, they were playing everybody tough all season. So I figured they'd get somebody.
I mean, talking about basketball, like just conferences, how lucky is Notre Dame from going from the Big East when the Big East was in their heyday to now going to the ACC? It's just like we saw the Big East, sinking. So let's just go jump to the
Wes
ACC
Welker going from Tom Brady to Peyton Manning
and win those Super Bowls.
Yeah, but still, you go from one great to the next. It's kind of like that. Like I said, my pick. I still feel like the SEC is doing incredibly well. So I'm gonna ride with the SEC as my top conference so far.
So
I don't care what anybody else says.
The whole one team that's in the Sweet 16.
Yes, that's my answer.
So the Big East is overrated, basically.
The Big East and the Big 12.
The Big East is
the
Big 12.
There was a lot of talk about.
If it wasn't for Buddy, the Big 12 would suck.
Yeah, it was a lot of talk about the Big 12 being the best conference from top to bottom, and then they came out on day one and dropped like the first 3 games.
They dropped 2 14 seeds, beat them, and they were 3 seeds.
Dude,
14 is the new 12.
We could talk about Iowa all day because I don't understand but then Kansas going down to Wichita, those guys have their number.
No,
expected.
Wichita, it was boiling. It was their time.
Those guys have their number. But it's just Iowa State, man. Everybody's expecting such big things out of them. Hoiberg as an NBA offense and George Niang.
Well, this isn't the NBA. This is college.
You may need NBA players to really see that pro NBA offense shine.
Yeah, that dude.
You mean like Kentucky players?
Boop, boop.
Yeah. And then, so on to round 2 is really nothing spectacular happened. We just had all chalk all the time.
Yeah, for all the upsets we had in the first round, the second round kind of played true to form.
The only upset was number 5 seed beating number 4 seed Georgetown. Yakar.
Yo, she was ready to put on her Georgetown gear and stunt if Georgetown won. That's the thing.
I think the biggest, I don't think it was much of a surprise to anybody in this room, but the biggest surprise coming out of that round was probably Michigan State getting the win over Virginia. Virginia was one of the teams that were top 3 for most of the year. Until Justin Anderson got hurt, people were putting them up there with Arizona, with Duke, with Kentucky.
They're crazy.
To see them fall.
Who put someone up with Kentucky?
It happened.
They were ranked. I know because they won.
Okay, who in the bracket had the Sweet 16 pick?
We all did.
Yeah.
I did say everybody in this room had this pick.
We are homers, but
Yeah.
I did mine completely objectively.
Well,
though.
you guys aren't really homers because none of you picked Coastal Carolina to beat Wisconsin.
Come on.
And
Oh,
none of
Ole
you
Miss.
picked Ole Miss to beat Xavier, whereas I am a true homer.
And your
That's
bracket
true.
was busted even worse than ours.
That's fine.
I honestly expected San Diego State to put up a bigger fight against Duke. Duke spanked them. It's not that big a shock, but I don't know. I feel like they would have did better against Duke.
Yeah, whenever a team gets beat by 20 points in the tournament, then it's just like that. Do they belong? For real?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of puzzled me. But yeah, no big storylines except Gonzaga.
Gonzaga is not doing a Gonzaga.
Yeah, they're not Gonzagaing. They're knocking out.
What moment do you remember the
knocking
most
out
for Gonzaga?
lower
Go.
seeds.
Kyle Wiltshire hitting threes.
You mean from this tournament or
No, just
previous?
history.
Steph Curry.
Mine is Adam Morrison crying on the court.
Steph Curry.
Oh, we meant any Gonzaga moment.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember when 3 Ounce and them made it to Elite 8 when they knocked out Florida.
I remember Steph
remember that.
Curry. This is the first bracket I've done since Steph Curry. I had Gonzaga picked to beat him, and then Georgetown beating Gonzaga. Steph Curry beat. I think Steph Curry went to what the final? No,
Elite
the
8.
Elite 8. Yeah.
He got
And
paid.
lost to Kansas. I never did a bracket since then, and I never believed in Gonzaga since then either.
I still don't believe in them.
Gonzaga is actually the perfect team to segue to our next topic.
Yeah.
Because they started, everybody remembers Gonzaga starting out as a Cinderella, but now they're actually a powerhouse. So which one is better? People argue it all the time. Do you want to see these Cinderella stories? Because all commentators, all writers, they love the human interest stories. Do we want to see that, or do we want to see the powerhouses just mow through everybody and add to the rich legacies that they already have?
The only time I want to see a Cinderella, if it's like a legit 14 seed from, Sun Belt, one of those like really lesser conferences, make that run. Like, I don't want people to go from saying, oh, the Mountain West has a team that made it this far, the Ohio Valley. It's like, no, those are good basketball conferences. Those, you just can't be like, oh, the Cinderellas because they're not in a major conference. Right. You have teams, A10, you have teams in there that play basketball.
Yeah, and you have to make that distinction.
So
I mean,
you need to...
All mid-majors are
like,
not Cinderellas.
If Georgia State would have kept going, that's a Cinderella.
Right.
Yeah, legit. But I mean, if Georgia State goes on these runs for 2 or 3 more years, then they're like the Gonzaga of the
Gonzaga's
SoCon.
Yeah, Gonzaga's no longer.
But no one's gonna go to Gonzaga and say, "Oh, it's Cinderella 1. They're a 2 seed."
Yeah, no. I think it depends on like what interest we have in it. Like I know last year I was pulling for Wichita State because I wanted to see Kadeem.
Wichita State, even
win a
though they
title.
were undefeated, that
yeah.
would have been a Cinderella just because of the season itself.
Yeah.
That's why Kentucky's a Cinderella story.
You mean last year they were?
No, this year as well. They go undefeated.
We're the underdog stage.
They go undefeated.
We're the underdogs.
Yeah,
They have the
yeah.
darling
Vegas is taking the
season.
field. We're the underdogs in this. All right, from my perspective, everybody loves Cinderella stories until they have to play your team. And then you want Cinderella to be crushed. You want somebody to punch Cinderella in the face, take a slipper, and bash her over the head with it. Is
Just
that
break
too
it.
morbid?
I also think it depends on who the overdog is. Like you always want Duke to lose. You always want the small team to beat Duke. I don't care like who you are, unless you went to Duke. And if you
you put a lot of money on Duke.
Yeah, but like you always want Duke to lose. You always want Kansas to lose.
Like
be careful.
When Butler made the championship, that would have been a Cinderella.
I wanted Butler to win so bad.
Yeah.
That would even if they made it 2 years in a row.
I actually rewatched that game the other day.
Yeah.
Terrible shooting game.
But Butler, I mean, Hayward was gone on the second one, right? But I mean, even then they had 2 NBA players on their team.
But they missed that half court shot from like, if that would have gone in, that would have been the most incredible NCAA tournament of all time.
And I think that was one of Duke's weakest championship teams.
Yeah, that was. But I'm saying, like, how big of a Cinderella were they, given that they had 2 NBA players on their team?
Pretty big.
I mean,
but then
they don't have the history.
You also got to look at it from the perspective of where these guys really aren't on the radar sometimes until they make these runs. So a lot of times they get drafted based on the runs they make.
But Hayward, I mean, that dude is borderline.
Yeah. But I mean,
All-star.
this
Hayward
year,
got his-
looking at what we have in the Sweet 16 field now, there aren't any real Cinderellas. I mean, there aren't any double-digit. Well, there's one. UCLA is the only double-digit seed.
UCLA will never be like. I don't care.
But
like,
they have the name, so
yeah, because of that name,
Yeah.
and they got the name, and they always get the recruits. So
Other than that, the lowest seed is, and there are big programs: UK, West Virginia, NC State, Louisville, Notre Dame, Wichita State, Oklahoma, Michigan State, Wisconsin, UNC, Duke, Utah, Xavier, Arizona, UCLA.
half of them
Gonzaga.
have won championships.
Yeah.
I would say Oklahoma may be the closest thing to a Cinderella because I mean they're in a big conference and they're the conference player of the year, but they're not really considered a classic basketball
NC
school.
State would be the Cinderella if there's a team to pick right now.
Yeah, I mean,
They're just too scrappy.
They're all power conferences.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah,
Except
like I said,
Wichita State
Yeah, except Wichita State.
I think, but Wichita State has
and Gonzaga. Gonzaga is in the power conference.
Yeah.
like I say, like, but Gonzaga and Wichita State, like they have that.
But they have
stature
the name
now.
brand,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I'm saying, they have that name brand now where they're really not like I would pick Gonzaga over like North Carolina State from the ACC.
How
Yeah.
sweet do you think the Shocker fans had it when they beat Kansas?
Oh,
They felt as happy as I did. Love to see Kansas fall.
what up, Anton? All right, so who?
Speaking of villains.
who we consider the villains of this tournament?
Segway.
Dun dun dun.
The villains.
UCLA.
The biggest villains of this tournament. I think, yeah, especially that they're left. I think UCLA right now is leading the charge.
They
and
came
Bryce
with the chip on
Alford's-
their shoulder.
Bryce Alford specifically, they are leading the charge as the villains of this tournament. Because one of the major storylines from the national media was UCLA didn't belong in the tournament. And
What were the
did they
committee
do?
members thinking?
Yeah, I mean, at the selection show, we were here watching it, and Doug Gottlieb was losing his you know what?
He said,
talking about
I could name
UCLA.
6 more teams who deserve to be here.
Exactly. So what do? They come out and win the opening game against 6th ranked SMU. And how do they win it?
On a sketchy goaltend.
To put it best, they win it on a sketchy goaltend from the number 1 villain in this tournament, Mr. Bryce Alford.
And what did he do on that 3-point attempt, Age?
He broke his dad's record for 3-pointers in I think it was a game or NCAA game. I don't
And
know.
to follow that up, they had the great fortune of UAB beating Iowa State. So, that's the only game where they were going to be the lower seed. So,
Iowa State would have beat him. Like,
Of course they
Iowa
would've.
State would have beat the crap out of
Of
them.
course they would have. So
But
after
watch
that
them go
first
beat
upset,
Gonzaga
they would have
now.
played number 3. And so now in the second round, they get to play a 14th ranked UAB team that shouldn't have been there in the first place.
They smashed him. Did they beat him in the battle too? They play him in the battle?
Yeah,
they beat him.
They beat them there too. So it was the second time they beat them for the year. And so now all of a sudden, this team that wasn't supposed to be there, that got by on that sketchy goaltending call, is in the Sweet 16.
Hey, you know what they say? You can't give someone an inch. They're
That's true.
going to take advantage of what
Don't
they
give
have.
Bryce Alford an inch.
I think.
Take a mile.
Even though they're out, I think a lot of people look at Virginia as a villain because of their slow pace. They're just really.
Virginia sucks.
They're really hard to
How
watch.
about you practice offense once in a while? I
Yeah.
mean,
Shoot the ball.
defense is all cool,
Yeah,
that's
like-
well and good.
It's like I remember
Maybe take some jump shots.
A lot of people just hate that style of basketball. It's really just grating. It's really annoying. I guess to see him play. So a lot of people were really happy that they got knocked out.
I could be wrong, but I remember seeing a stat on TV saying like Virginia has not scored over 60 points in the last 14 games they played
Yeah,
in.
even when they were winning games, it was horrible. I don't like them because none of their players wear accessories, and it looks weird.
Yeah, that's the same reason why I don't like Harvard. They don't have any tattoos.
Nobody wears accessories. No, come on. Do you guys even watch basketball?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
You know who's a villain? Dick Vitale. Dick Vitale is a
Diaper
villain.
dandy.
All right, I'm about to go on a rant.
Go ahead.
Like
Go.
Dick Vitale.
5 minutes on Dick Vitale. Go ahead.
All right, I'm about to go in. Dick Vitale gets paid $1 million to gas bag just to talk complete and utter nonsense and gibberish about college kids, and he's made himself a fortune over the past 40 years. He's been doing this because he couldn't coach. He coached the Pistons and he sucked. And he coached at University of Detroit and he shit the bed. So, and then he's the first one to get on his high horse whenever they talk about paying players. Oh, they shouldn't pay these players, but
I love your Dick
purity of the
Vitale
game.
impression.
Baby, diaper dandy's purity of the game, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Impression's so on point.
yeah, but he makes $1 million.
John even did a better one.
John did a great one. But so he makes $1 million. These guys can't get any money, but he's rich off of this because he hasn't done anything for the past 40 years. And then you got Coach K, who's like breaking federal laws, not reporting rapes. And Jim Boeheim, he's doing the most of their.
He's not in the tournament though.
I don't disagree with
It's like,
Jim.
dude,
Yeah.
you're going a little too much on a
Yeah.
rant now.
No.
You're going
No,
off.
I'm about to bring it back. So you got Coach K, a criminal, and Jim Boeheim, a habitual rule breaker, and he's like the first to defend them because they're his friends. Like, he's a villain. Like, he's the biggest villain in the world. He's a hypocrite and a loudmouth and a villain. Fuck that guy. Rant over.
That was 5 minutes on Dick Vitale, and now returning you to the NCAA tournament.
All right, let's talk about Louisville.
I hate them. I wish they got beat.
Of course, Louisville is John's number 1 ranked villains of the tournament.
Who's your least favorite player on Louisville?
Everybody.
Nah, who's your least favorite player?
Everybody.
Montrez Harrell, and I'm going to call him Montrezl on purpose.
You took my.
How do you have a silent L? Totally stole that from Tage. That's fine, though.
Yeah.
Tage, I'm-
Silent L. Get out of here, Montrezl.
What's up with those locks?
Just let it go, dude. I mean, it's kind of late in the game to try and go dreadlocks. This baby locks thing that you're doing is not gonna work. You're not from Chicago. You're not Chief Keef. Like, get out of here with that.
Get out of here. Like, at
Villains
least,
of the tournament.
yeah, like they and Rick Pitino, he looks like he's ready for his funeral. He has on a suit and everything.
Rick Pitino stopped gelling his
So
hair, and I feel
pale.
like that's when he lost all his powers.
Yeah.
Samson.
So we hate Louisville. The thing is, I never really disliked Louisville until they started consistently hanging around you guys.
Yes.
And now I don't like Louisville either.
Yeah.
Indoctrinated. I like it. Like people have been. I've seen that happen. It's happened the other way. People have been feeding off my energy. I've been creating Kentucky fans. It's kind of like when Brainiac goes somewhere and he touches something electronic and it just spreads. It's like a big blue disease I'm spreading all across the country.
Not because Big Blue Nation came down here.
I think it has more to do with Big Blue Nation coming down.
It's completely me. I'm doing this.
It's not.
Shut up, you guys.
Okay.
Now put his hand on the airplane that caused him to come here.
Yeah.
Link, you are now a Kentucky fan. You can't see right now, but I'm making John's dog a Kentucky fan.
Because we're very Kentucky centric. I think.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with watching.
And when we mean Kentucky,
It
we
does.
mean the one in Lexington.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Fried chicken.
No. Move on.
All right. Awful announcing. It was the worst
Grant Hill.
announcer.
I disagreed with this segment, by the way. I didn't want to have this in there because I think the announcing's been incredible and I've loved every minute of it. You guys are just haters. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't have anything.
I'm
to
just
say.
saying Grant Hill isn't good. I mean,
Why isn't Grant Hill good?
you're just not. Like, sometimes you have talent, sometimes you don't.
Is he worse than Charles Barkley?
No.
Charles Barkley is the worst.
No, Charles
Oh my
Barkley's
god.
funny.
I love to see every year during NCAA tournament time because you know him and Kenny Smith don't watch college basketball. I just love to watch them fake it because I have heard Kenny Smith make the same
with Mateen
assessment
Cleaves.
3 or 4 days back to back to back. So he's done no new research, no new work. He just plugs in Team A and has his standard thing that he says and just runs with it.
Charles Barkley, he figured out a formula like in his career where he could just say he became that guy who could just say any like wrong thing, and it'll be wrong, and like people just ignore him, and then he gets one thing like he hits it on the head like one time, and everybody's like, oh my god, Charles is like a
he's
clairvoyant, like
total idiot savant.
he's a hack.
Yeah.
He's a fucking hack.
Well, that's a much more harsh way to put it, but yeah, I guess.
Him and Dickie V
I guess.
hacks.
Do not put Charles or Dickie V.
Yeah.
Come on.
No,
now.
Dickie V is king hack.
Yeah, Charles is at least a likable guy.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Well,
Okay,
he
guess
must
he's-
have done
guess
something
he's
to
not.
Tage.
He's just not. He's not. Come on now.
But you know what is likable?
What's that?
The Sweet 16 matchup that's coming up.
Segway.
16.
Nailed it.
Awesome segue. And when we talk about the Sweet 16, we absolutely have to start with the
Freeport versus
history-making Sweet
Nassau.
16 for us. That's number 3 let me start with the region. We're going in the East region. Number 3 Oklahoma against number 7 Michigan State. Of course, this is our all Bahamian matchup.
All Bahamian.
We got Buddy Hield, Big 12 Player of the Year, Wooden Award candidate, and Freeport's very own going up against Lou Rawls, Tum Tum Nairn.
Let's just call him Tum Tum. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tom.
I mean, Lou Rawls is
Good
an
night,
awesome
my
name,
love.
Yeah, it's Tum
Pleasant
Tum.
dreams and Lou
though. I
Rawls.
guarantee-
Tum Tum, the
I
freshman
guarantee you
starting
these
point guard.
announcers are gonna
Sweet type, my
make
love.
a million bad Lou Rawls jokes.
May your
during this game.
tomorrows be sunny.
But so
and
yeah, that's
bright.
coming to you Friday night at 10 o'clock. The entire country should be tuned into that.
You
because
going to the
I have a-
game?
yeah.
This is a
You're,
huge
you're going to
deal.
the game. Let's talk about you going to the game.
Let's talk about me going
Let's
to the game.
go.
Who
This
you pulling
game
for?
just-
Who you for?
The importance. I am an objective observer. I just want to see a good game. I want to see both guys play well. I want to see Tum Tum shoot the ball at least 5 times. I want to see a really good game.
If Tum Tum makes 2 3-pointers that game,
I may run
article.
on the court. You
Well,
guys may see me.
All right, I have an important question regarding this game. Will Ryan Spangler's feet be set?
He just needs to pass the damn ball.
You guys will never let Ryan Spangler live.
No.
He's gonna regret ever coming to the Bahamas.
And answering the question
And
so
answering a
honestly.
question from Tage. So honestly,
Where's Wisconsin playing? Will Nigel Hayes hit the
Who
casino?
cares about Wisconsin?
I want to know if Nigel Hayes will hit the casino.
We're with Tum Tum and Buddy.
yeah. So what do we expect to see out of that game? I mean, I
I,
think it's,
I expect to see a Bahamian winning that game.
Yeah.
I hope one of them hits a game-winning shot. I mean, it'll make it incredible for me to have something to write about. Like I said, the camera may pan to me. You guys may see me flipping out. I may get escorted from the court. Who knows? Anything goes in this kind of
Don't
situation.
get fired.
I'll try not to. 10th elite. I'll always have a job here.
Yeah.
Great pay too.
Yeah. All.
Awesome, babe. But yeah, I mean, to say I'm picking a side. I mean, I don't really have a side per se. People here definitely should pick a side. Well, I know everyone from Grand Bahama is gonna be behind Buddy, 100%. So I think it's gonna really go along those Nassau and Freeport kind of lines.
I think I know what John said the other day kind of made sense. That he wants Buddy to win because Tum Tum is gonna be there for like 10 years. Like every other
Tum Tum, he's
short.
he's
State
definitely
player.
gonna be a floor general for Michigan State for the next 4 years. Whereas I think we may see Buddy leaving school early after this year to go to the draft.
I'm all for him raising his draft stock. I mean, he did come down here too and play a game, so you kind of have. We've seen him in person.
Yeah.
He gave us an interview. He's our boy.
It's a boy.
He's our guy. And like I said, Tum Tum is on that Kalen Lucas, Mateen Cleaves assembly line, so he's gonna be there 10 years. So I mean, he'll have another chance.
Hey, he'll get drafted if he's on that line. So.
No, he won't.
What that?
Jeez, what a hater we have over there.
Also in the East region. Okay, we're gonna run through this quickly.
How is it that you have to watch Louisville?
I don't have to. I'm not gonna watch Louisville. I'm gonna be there early. And
Say what up to Montrezl for me when you see him in the street.
I'm gonna heckle him from media row. I'm gonna say, "Hey, Montrezl," and then when he looks, I'm gonna realize that guy's like 6'8", 250. I'm gonna cower.
Montrezl Harrezl.
I'm gonna duck beneath my media table, hide behind my laptop.
Yo, what's up with Terry Rozier looking like Lil Boosie?
Because his dad's Cliff Rozier.
I hope NC State wins.
So who do we like out of NC State and Louisville?
NC State, just because I don't like Louisville.
Quickly. There you go. All right, let's swing.
Okay, Mateen Cleaves was a first round pick,
Yeah, he
14
got drafted
overall.
by Seattle.
Yeah, and who?
Detroit.
What other point guard got drafted from Michigan State after that, off that assembly line? Like none.
If you just said he was on the Mateen Cleaves assembly line, if he's on that assembly line, he's getting drafted.
Well, Mateen Cleaves did win a national title.
Mateen Cleaves wouldn't get drafted today if he came out of college.
But it's not today.
Okay. Well, if Tum Tum was there 15 years ago, he probably would get drafted.
All right, let's go to the West region. Wisconsin, UNC. Who you got?
Wisconsin.
Damn. Okay. Absolutely no parity with you people.
Frank the Tank. I like
Xavier in Arizona. Who do you got?
Arizona.
You guys are gay. Move over to the South region. Duke and Utah. Who do you got?
Duke.
This is just almost. All right, now I got you. Other half of the South. UCLA, Gonzaga. Who do you got?
Gonzaga.
Ah!
I got the villains.
John is going for Bryce Alford, while Tage is going for
Kyle Wiltshire. Kyle Wiltshire has that winning pedigree.
He does have that winning pedigree. I gotta say, Kyle Wiltshire seems like a smart young man.
He's
that
a
goes
winner.
to a great institution.
He's what Bomani Jones would call winner guy.
Speaking of great institutions, we're gonna go to the Midwest. Notre Dame, Wichita State. Who do you got?
Wichita.
I don't know.
Tage is gonna go with
Yeah.
John is gonna go with Wichita State.
I don't know.
All right.
I'd give it to Wichita, man. They have the experience.
And the other half of the Midwest, West Virginia playing against some guys. I don't know.
I'm going with some
Who's it?
guys.
West Virginia against, it's Kentucky. Who do you got? You're not allowed to pick. We're all going with Kentucky.
It's target practice.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to pick. We're all going with Kentucky.
Yo, you know how much people I was reading today, Bob Huggins, how much people he graduated during his 14 years.
I was listening to Le Batard show when they were about to say it, and then they ended up getting out of the car. But I know it has to be some ridiculously, laughably low number, because they had that as the stat of the day.
Start of the day.
I forgot, but it was like...
Somebody please find that quickly, because I know it's some ridiculous number. And I think they just talked about it at Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, but I heard it before, though.
Look, UK.
Basically, Bob Huggins is not.
The question of the day
graduating
with
life.
UK is, how badly do they beat West Virginia?
I just want to stomp them into the ground because no Kentucky fan has forgiven them for 2010 yet. We will hate West Virginia forever because that John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Eric Bledsoe team deserved a national championship, but nobody could shoot. And they zoned us to death, and we lost. So we wanted this rematch with Virginia. I want to play Virginia every year. I always want to play the teams that I watched us lose to in the tournament. So I'm looking forward to this. I hope we beat them by 40.
40.
Staten, I hate you. While we're on this topic, reasons to hate West Virginia.
Bob Huggins is a dipshit.
I don't like moonshine.
Mountaineers suck.
Yeah.
Incest is gross.
Incest is so gross.
Why are they in the Big 12?
West Virginia reminds me of dirty overalls.
Yo, why? That's a state ran by coal. We have sun.
You know why?
Everywhere.
Marshall's in that state.
But we have a lot of cold.
You know who came from Marshall?
Chad Pennington.
Randy Moss.
Brian Leffridge.
Hassan Whiteside.
Yeah, Whiteside.
Yeah.
He smoked us those 2 years at UCF.
Oh yeah.
Oh, 1 year.
How did he get UCF into this podcast? How does he do it every time? Every time. My God.
Running joke.
Ow.
Charge on.
Ow.
Oh yeah, why do we hate West Virginia? Because Bob Huggins graduated like no people since he's been there.
Yeah. I'm confident with our West Virginia hate. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hate is deep.
Anyway, so that's what we have. The first 2 rounds. We will definitely check us out. We'll be at the Sweet 16, and by us I mean now.
I'll
He's
be
gonna
on
at the Sweet
location.
16.
IG all day.
So hit us up on IG, and we'll see you after the Sweet 16. 10th year seniors, and we out.
With Big Blue.
Bamboo and Imperials.
Are we still doing that?